What's good, everybody? Welcome to Everything Under the Sun Reaction Channel, where we talk about everything under the sun. You dig? Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Alright, this is my very first video, but I'm going to get right into it. Alright, we just had a tragic situation happen in the world of hip hop here recently this week. Gillie the Kid, or should I say Gillie the King, has lost his son to gun violence on the streets of Philadelphia. Gillies Son, he went by the name of YNG Cheese. He also was an inspiring rapper himself. There's not a whole lot that's been put out on the guy. Besides that, he lost his life and he was Gillies Son. To give you a little bit more on Gillie, who Gillie is a old school rapper, I would say. He came up with a rap group named Major Figures out of Philly, in the early 2000s. Then he got signed to Cash Money Records. And he was alongside with Birdman, Lil Wayne, and them guys for a minute. And his music career didn't really go the way that he had wanted it to. But he found success in being a podcaster. He's the host of the podcast $1 Million Worth of Game. It's a very popular podcast on YouTube. He has a co-host, his cousin Wallow. Wallow did 20 years in prison. Came home, is doing real well. Looks to be a very active guy in the community. He is the co-host of the show $1 Million Worth of Game. I just want to give my condolences to the family. I pray for their peace, for them to have a peace of mind and a speedy grieving process. Okay, now, from the reports that's been put out, it seems to be that it was a car or a truck or some type of vehicle of some sort that spun around the block where YNG Cheese, Gillies Son, and two other guys were hanging out, just chilling next to their cars or what have you. Somebody drove past, shot them up. Two of the guys, all three guys was hit. Gillies Son, YNG Cheese, ended up passing away at the hospital a short time later. The other two guys ended up healing from their wounds, and they was in stable condition before too long. There's not any suspects that's being reported. There's not any murder weapons that's been recovered. It hasn't been much details put out about the murder so far. So I don't know if the police know more than what they're putting out to protect the investigation, or they just really don't have a clue of what happened here. The only piece of evidence that they do have is the vehicle that the murder was carried out in. They actually, it looks like they jumped out of the car and left the car running or something like that down the block from where the murder had happened. So they ended up finding a car. I think it was a black truck, a black SUV or something like that. They ended up recovering that was still running, that was on the side of the road down the block. So it appears to be the vehicle that the murder was committed in. Seems like that's the only type of evidence that they have at this juncture. There's a lot of buzz going on around this case, far as a lot of people got a lot of different things to say about what happened, but it don't seem like the streets is talking too much right now about any suspects. So we're just going to leave that right there. Yeah, a lot of people was pointing to the fact that Gillie and Wallow allegedly just signed a $100 million contract for some entertainment deal. I'm not sure of the details of exactly the details of what the deal contains, But there's a video that's been put out on the internet of Gillie and Wallow, crying and hugging each other in joy and happiness, and it looks to appear that they signed in some type of contract or some deal, what have you. So this year it looks like those two brothers came into a whole lot of money, right? So of course you got all of your conspiracy theorist people that come out and want to say, "Oh, Gillie sacrificed his son so he can get the bag. He did it for the bag. He did it for the bag. God damn it." Nah, man, come on. Everything is not a conspiracy. Come on, man. So you mean to tell me that Gillie told the Illuminati to pay a hitman, or he okayed the Illuminati to pay a hitman to slide around and spin the block and chop Gillie's son down so he could get a check for $100 million? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sound very far fetched, but anything is in the realm of possibility. Anything is possible. But that scenario right there sounds highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. And without no proof, people with all these allegations, I mean, let that man grieve. You feel me? Let that man grieve. Everybody coming out saying, he might have had something to do with it. It's a conspiracy theory. You got this dude, Hassan Campbell, who I respect and agree with a lot of things that Hassan has to say regarding certain individuals or what have you. But at this point in time right now, the way that he came out on his podcast and said that, oh, Gillie son shouldn't even have been in the hood no more after Gillie got a check for $100 million. This is basically Gillie's fault for being a bad father type of deal. That's what this guy was basically saying. You dig? And to me, that ain't right. There ain't nothing right about that, man. You need to be quiet. Let that man grieve. You understand? Even if you feel that way. But at the end of the day, Gillie's son, Cheese, was 25 years old. He was a grown man. He was 25 years old. We're not talking about a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, somebody that's still living up under his roof, or somebody still living up under his baby mama roof. This boy got his own life going. So you can't blame Gillie for him being in the hood in Philly where he was killed at. It just ain't right. And I just wanted to take this time to speak on that too, because right is right, wrong is wrong. You feel me? Some things are to be spoke on, and there's a good time and there's a bad time for everything. And at that time, dude should have just been quiet and let Gillie grieve. Don't be placing no blame on nobody. You don't got enough facts together to be doing that, But yeah, I just wanted to say my condolences, prayers to the family. Let justice get served, and that's gonna wrap up the show for the day. But I want to thank y'all for taking a listen and checking out the new channel. Like I said, everything under the sun. Smash that like button. Hit that sub. Tap in with me. It's only up from here. If it need to be spoke on, we going to speak on it. Signing out.